Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bangers and Beers with Dave and myself. I've stood in. Obviously, as we know, we announced the other day, Venom, with his blessing, passed on the baton to myself. So me and Dave will be continuing with Bangers and Beers. So this is the first one with myself and Dave, where I'm just not sitting in the background telling Venom off for saying naughty words. So welcoming Dave as well. So we'll just do a quick intro. We're going to do the usual format. We have a very special guest waiting in the green room. We've just been chatting away. Awesome dude. Jason Asberry from the band Stormruler. Jason, welcome. Absolutely, yeah. First priority. There we go.
There we go.
Cheers, everybody.
That's what we're here for. Bangers and beers.
Exactly. Forget content. It's all about the beers and the music.
It's all about the beer now.
The production. That's so nice to hear now, because obviously you get used to like the classic, the classic cult sound of black metal, being very lo-fi production stuff like that, and the purists. But for me, I've always wanted a bit more. So that for me was really good classic black metal sound, but with modern production. And I've got to say, I'm a bit biased because I do play a couple of instruments, but I mainly enjoy drums. He's what a beast! Oh,
Jesse smacks those fucking things. He's a hell of a drummer.
Yeah, the kit that we saw on the video, then the sound just beautiful. Anyway,
it's Tama Star Classic or something like that.
Oh right, okay. Really? Oh, okay. No, I wouldn't have guessed that just from seeing what we saw on the video. But no, just again, the production. Whoever's obviously doing the production on that recording. Big round of applause.
Yeah, dude. Gabe Ostery from Encapsulated Studios here in St. Louis. He's a local dude, but he's incredible. Like, we knew him immediately going into the second record. That's who we wanted to do it with. The dude just crushes all of his mixes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not like overly polished and mechanical. It's like
correct. Yeah,
you can hear everything going on. It's a good production, but it still sounds real, and
Yeah. I mean, it's just got that the fullness and balance. But I mean, for me, the thing is when you've got music like that, obviously where you've got a lot going on, it's kind of quite relentless in terms of the sound, but you can still hear everything. So that's what I enjoyed, is like the clarity and separation, so you can actually hear what's going on. I enjoyed obviously the guitar panning as well. You could pick up on that as well. There was the separation. So really nice to hear that. So hopefully the guys in chat enjoyed that. I'm seeing Shadow calling out them blast beats though.
Yeah, dude. It's a single footer. Single foot blast, man. It's the way to go.
So clean.
It's classic.
Yeah. Or I would agree it's the way to go, because that's the only one I can do.
But it's the classic blast. I mean, obviously, you can do the single up to like 200 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you have to start incorporating the duck walk, and we're like, not 100% anti duck walk, but we're like mostly anti duck walk. So it's like keep a single foot in classic.
Yeah, I've never heard it referred to as the duck walk, but I like it. I'm gonna remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, am I right in saying the band is just the two of you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just he and I who do like most of the writing. When it comes to touring and stuff, we bring other people. But
yes, I was gonna say. So when you're playing live, how do you fill out the rest of the sound? You're just bringing in session musicians, is it? Or?
Yeah, just session work. But it's good homies of ours who play in other cool metal bands here in St. Louis who are just like they're down to come out and hit the road for a little bit and go play.
Yeah, cool. So for example, on the recording, then, I mean, who does what on the recording? So are you pretty much covering bass duties as well as vocals, guitars?
Yeah. So on the first record, it was Derek Ingeman on bass, ex Cattle Decap guy, filling some on the Illegals dude. Also plays in Scour and Cast of Stone. But on this one, I pulled bass on that one. I did bass, vocals, and guitars, and then Jesse did drums and mouth harp.
I like how you're emphasizing that.
Yeah, the mouth harp, man.
I am gonna have to say, most people in chat are gonna know already that I'm gonna bring this up. I love you, Flying V.
Oh, my man. I love that thing too. This guy.
Yeah.
Which I found this thing on Reverb for $600. It was like scratch free, dude. Yeah, I got a steal on that shit.
Yeah.
It was about 4 years ago now I've had this guitar.
Wow, I mean, I've got one. I've had it for 22, almost 23 years now. Got it on my 18th birthday. It'll be.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have had it for 23 years at the end of next month.
Man, it's the one that goes with me everywhere. That was actually the guitar that was played on the records and all that shit too.
Yeah,
And that thing's my baby.
I also want to call out. You got a great head of hair there.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to leave you guys to it. This is getting awkward. I'll see you.
All right, so we'll see you in a minute. No,
Yeah.
Funny thing is like when we first started this band, my hair was like past my waist, right? And then we started like riffing, and the album got picked up by Napalm and shit, and he and I are sitting around playing, and it's like my hair's like too long to be playing guitar, because like if I take it down and I try to play it, it droops up and it goes past my strings and it gets in the way, and she was like, okay, I gotta cut this, but just above the guitar. So I cut my hair like right above where my guitar sits.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I think we got out of our system. You can come back.
Yeah.
You can come back. We're good.
No, I mean, actually,
Go get a towel.
Anyway, no, but on the hair thing, when you're saying about the stories about that, it reminds me of the couple of times I saw Shadows Fall live. If you know the singer's name, Brian Fair, yeah.
He lives here in St. Louis. He plays in some bands with some buddies.
Oh, right, okay, cool. So then you do know him. But yeah, I remember when I saw them in the UK, and there's a venue at a university near us that I went to see them at. Tiny place, right? I think they were supporting Children of Bodom. And where all the racks were for the light was just obviously above the stage, because the ceiling was so low. Every time he flicked the dreads back, they kept smashing into the lights. And you can see where this is going. Halfway through the set, he did that, and it got stuck in the lights. So he had to carry on the song, as he does with the energy that Brian puts into his live performance, whilst being attached with two guitar techs on ladders trying to untangle his hair from the lights. So there we go, kids. There's the hazards of long hair.
The dude's got hair down to his feet, literally, quite literally.
Yeah. Well,
I've got the V here. I got the Explorer over here as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Explorer's still one that is on my wish list. Like I've been out to buy guitars, and like this is something that anytime I've gone to a shop to buy a guitar, if I leave the house thinking I'm going to buy this guitar, I'll try everything else out that's there, and I'll come home with something completely different to what I left the house thinking I'm going to buy that. So yeah, like on more than one occasion, I've left the house thinking I'm going to get an Explorer today, and I've come back with something completely different.
Get a PRS or whatever.
Yeah, like an NSS series or like.
And as far as I remember, you still don't own an Explorer.
I still don't own an Explorer, no.
It's a good one to have in the arsenal, man.
The closest I have is the ML, which is like...
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
God bless pointy guitars.
Yes, absolutely.
Except there's one exception to that, and I make controversial. It was the, I can't remember what they call it. Was it the Dean split tail? That's one exception. Do you remember that? Where they basically put...
I do not.
They put a V and an SG together.
Yes, yeah. Those things were fucking hideous.
Yeah, I believe Zach Wilde also did a version of that in the Wild Audio range.
I just find it. I mean, I got the
and also the reverse V. If you've ever seen that.
Oh god,
that's horrendous.
Those came around in like the 50s. They're like blues guitar players who would play that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was at a time where it was experimental, and not every experiment goes to plan. But
some things just can be left in the past, though.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So it's funny though. So like, you know how most people get buckle rash on their guitar, right, on the back. So when we started playing live a lot more, because I'm mostly a drummer. Stormruler is the only band I play guitar in. I wear the gauntlets and shit, right? So I get gauntlet rash on my shit. Whoa. And we had started playing, and like after one tour this started happening, I was like, I need to find a solution. So I just like pulled the spikes out of my...
Natural fine.
Yeah. Dave, don't, Dave, it's okay. It's okay. We'll counsel you afterwards. It's all right.
No, yeah, dude, I shredded the shit out of that thing.
As I say, like natural relicking is fine. Like if your guitar has taken a battering on the road, it's fine. It's only when you buy a guitar brand new from the shop
and it's
like sort of made to
yeah,
look like
already relic.
It's horrendous when they do that.
So yeah, like a couple of people were like, "So you're gonna try to like get that refinished or put something over?" I was like, I had thought about it, but no, man, it adds character. It's cool. I dig it.
Yeah, it's as Mater says in the film Cars, every bump is a memory.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, my V's, I've battered the shit out of that thing over the years, and love the thing to pieces. I wouldn't get any of the sort of like any of it filled in or whatever.
Yeah. I think just talking about yourself and Stormruler, obviously that's what we're here to talk about. So, because a lot of people in chat may or may not be familiar with the band. Really, for me, where I think I'd be interested, more than the usual question of like, what is the inspiration for your music? When did you learn guitar? And the usual stuff that you'll all get asked a million times.
Let me just go get the copy and pasted answers.
Exactly. Which I told you, Dave can't read. I can't be bothered. So we have no prepared questions. You know, we just wherever this conversation takes us till we run out. So for me, it was more like. We were talking in the green room before we came live about how, you know, back in the day, I mean, I used to follow a lot of the classic black metal bands. I used to love Emperor, and then later on when it became Cradle Demo, when it evolved more into that mainstream stuff. But you know, the classic thing everybody thinks of with black metal is, you know, the church burnings, Euronymous, all those famous guys, etc. in the documentaries. Obviously, where we're at today is a much different. It's a much different scene. A lot less of that dark, occult, horrible. Unless you've killed 3 people, you can't be a real musician. If you're not releasing your album from prison, then you're not a real musician. Looking at you,
if it wasn't recorded in a cave with a Fisher Price karaoke machine.
So, what I wanted to hear from you, sort of firsthand, is as being a relatively new band within the sort of the black metal scene. What, you know, tell us about. I'm just going to open it up. Tell us about what is the black metal scene these days. What is it from your point of view, your experience, and how do you think it's different from what it used to be before?
Well, you're definitely right as far as like, it's not as like how cult are you anymore, you know? I think there's still like in the underground, there's still some of that as far as like the war scene, like the war metal crap and like the DSBM shit. But like, as far as like black metal's gone over the past like 15 years, in my opinion, especially in the US, it's been like really heavy on the depressive suicidal black metal thing where it's just like, chorded riffs that go on way too long, and it's this reverb saturated shit, and it just has no structure. And some of that's cool, but it's already had its place. I mean, Burzum already exists, and you know, the bands in the '90s already did that. And not to say that second wave hasn't already been done, but if you can do it right, then you can do it right. But I think people are starting to like kind of get away from that now. Like people are like more interested in hearing riffs and actually hearing like real musicianship that's put into black metal, because I mean Demus and Emperor for just a couple set a standard for black metal. Like this is what black metal can be. Here's what you nerds arguing in your basements about who's more cult. This is what you guys are doing. Like,
I'm sorry,
learn how to play learn how to play your instrument, and you know, write some good black metal.
Exactly, and I think that was why I was never deep into sort of the true, you know, well, you say cult, the Cavelta kind of scene, as people always like jokingly call it nowadays. You know, I was never massively into that thing because of that. It was that sort of, you know, true black metal, like you said, has to be in a basement, recorded in a concrete pipe, with lo-fi filters, and nothing.
And there's a place for that, but
nothing but the same trem-picked chord for about 5 minutes. Done, we're finished.
For sure,
You know, so when I say like I used to enjoy sort of black metal, it was in terms of, like you said, those scenes, you know, like the later Emperor albums, even to extent when bands like Nile came around as well. They had a very much that black metal influence, but bringing it to another level kind of thing for me, whilst not being to the purest true black metal. So so it's interesting looking at that through that lens, and that definitely came across in the record we just listened to. Again, the production. The song structure, etc. There was a lot more. You know, it was a long song, but there's a lot more to it rather than, like you said, 5 minutes of chords
of just non-stop blasting and that same riff over and over.
So no, it was very good. So yeah, that was the main thing I was kind of interested in. So obviously you're talking about the band itself. Your first debut album came out last year, Under the Burning Eclipse. Obviously, have you been had a lot of opportunity to tour that? Obviously, mainly I'm assuming in the US, you've done a tour cycle for that. But in terms of what's your experience outside the US and reception and Europe, etc. Of you, is that next?
Yeah, so for Under the Burning Eclipse, we did 2 supporting tours on our own, one in July of last year and one in November of last year, but they were both like 2 weeks long. And then in April, I think. April and May of this year, we got to actually go out on the Devastation on the Nation tour all around the U.S. with Bork Nagar, Riding Christ, Abigail Williams, and Ghost Bath, DSBM. Love you, Dennis. Sorry. And Veil of Nath.
It's okay. Say what you want. He's probably not here.
We were out for 34 days on that one, and that tour absolutely crushed and was huge for us. You know, is what we needed. We haven't gone overseas yet, but that's going to be changing in support of this record. We're going to be going over there in March of April of next year in the spring with Cannibal Corpse and Dark Funeral and Ingested. So
nice lineup. Very good lineup.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Seriously stoked about that tour.
Yeah, yeah. And is that scheduled to be a sort of a full European tour then?
Yeah, that's 40 days in 15 countries, which will be coming through the UK. Hope to see you boys.
Yeah, I mean that's good as well because obviously anybody interested in catching you guys out live, I mean our viewers, our community, we are sort of we're US, Canada, through all of Europe, you know, so we have quite a large spread, even some in Australia. Now that's one where I know bands struggle to get to because it's a long fucking way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, nobody can get to Australia, man. It's hard.
Yeah,
I would love to go to Australia. That'd be a great tour. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and then you forget you put one banana in your suitcase and boom, you're out of the country. Anyway,
you're done.
But yeah, no, that's really awesome. So you know, very much, you know, cool to get you on to have that chat there because, you know, relatively speaking, obviously with your debut album last year, I think 2 singles so far from the latest album. We played one of them at the start of the VODCAST. We'll probably move on to the other one if you want. I think remind me. Yeah, Internal Fulmination is the latest single, right?
Yep.
And yes, I shortened the name of the song.
If you guys really need it, it's Internal Fulmination of the Grand Deceivers. You guys can find that on whatever.
All usual outlets, online, wherever you may purchase your music. So, yeah, I mean, that's brilliant. So, Dave, did you want to talk instead of me? Because you know what I'm like. Shut me up, please.
Well, I mean, like, I'm probably going to bring things back to gear. So you mentioned about sort of pedals and amps and whatnot. Are you still using sort of like a big, heavy sort of like traditional amps, or have you moved on to the sort of much lighter, sort of newer wave of?
No, I haven't gone to the Kemper quite yet. I'm rocking a 1997 Sobtech MiG 100H. I don't run it on the high gain. I actually was trying to get a MiG 100U, which is the strictly clean amp. This one's the high gain amp, but I always run it through the lows. But the Sobtechs, they're a little low end heavy, but they make perfect pedal platforms. And MiG 100 is basically just like a Marshall JCM 800, which is like the bread and butter when it comes to extreme metal. Down you on. Let's go over here.
Sorry, you skipped the cab. You skipped the cab.
Oh yeah. I've got a Mesa 412. Everybody knows those things. Celestium V30s in it.
Yeah, nice.
Great cab. I love it. Of course, the TU3 tuner. If you don't have it, get one.
Yeah.
An equalizer that I don't really use. This guy though is the key behind a lot of tone. So this is an S&K VHD pedal. It's modeled after a Ampeg 140HC, actually, and fucking crushes. These are great. Of course, you got the Boss DD220, or DD20 for delay. And we got the slow reverb, which has a lot of funky noises and shit, but really I just set it up to be a standard cathedral reverb. And of course, my noise gate, so things don't get too annoying.
Yeah, but in terms of, obviously, compared to some artists, obviously, for that, pure sound, it's a very simple, you know, straightforward pedal setup.
It's nothing like over the top, but it's a lot of cool, good stuff.
shit.
No. The bread and butter really
you
is.
know you need, and
Yeah.
Exactly. The bread and butter is that Sobtech MiG 100 and that VHD pedal.
Yeah.
it's like I always joke about the fact like I've got a Helix, and basically like what I've managed to glean from the fact that like they've got all these options and all these different things available on there. What I've managed to understand from that is what I actually want is a dual rectifier and a tube screamer. That's literally sort of the
Standard,
sound
but it's
that I
good.
end up-
Yeah,
yeah,
it sounds
literally
good.
a sound I end up sort of going back to every time. So
Well, yeah, I mean, what's funny about that is that when you look at modern metal tones, obviously when you look at a lot of bands like Architects and stuff like that, you know, a lot of the sort of the modern, you know, not necessarily the gent crowd, i.e. Periphery, things like that, you know, more sort of like the modern metal bands, you know, but actually when it boils down to it, they're using amp models, all that kind of stuff, but what you boil down to it is 95% of modern metal bands use a 6505 and a tube screamer.
Yeah, I mean, I had a 6505 for a long while, actually.
Yeah.
I sold that to get the Sobtech, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're great amps. I mean, they sound they're mid-heavy and they're high gain, and they sound great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, currently the main reason to go for sort of a modeler is to just cut down on weight.
It's convenience.
If the weight isn't an issue, then go with your classic.
In St.
amp
Louis,
and-
it's still a thing to big amps, big cabs, wall of sound. There's very few bands here who like dabble in the Kempers and XFXs. You know?
And let's be honest, nobody wants it to go away. You know, everybody's great
no.
about like all. You know, I mean, you've got things like the Quad Cortex coming out of Neural. What Neural DSP are doing with tone shaping and sound is amazing. STL Tone Hub. You know, and obviously with Kemper profiles linked to STL, Bias Effects, all those companies coming forward and just pushing the boundaries in terms of sound processing, etc., which is great. But nobody wants to see, you know, the big amp stacks go away, because I mean, I used to have it. I sold it because I never had a reason to use it, but I had the two 4x12s, the 100-watt Marshall head in my room, and I was like, right, I'm going to use it now, and I'd be there with the volume like this. Nope, too loud. Nope, too loud. Shit. So I got rid of it because you know, it was useless for home. So I mean, now, I mean, for practice,
That
can't
is
see
the
it.
cool thing about this Sobtech MiG 100 actually, is like you can turn it on 0.5, you know, half of zero.
Yeah.
And it still sounds really good, but it's not overly loud to be playing in an apartment or
Right, okay.
a room, you know. Yeah. It still
pretty
sounds
cool.
really good, quiet. Yeah.
Because I found I had it was a 100-watt Marshall head from I think 1983. I think it was really quite an old one that I got from a friend. And with that, unless you cranked it, it sounded like absolute shit. You know, you put it on a low, you really had to crank the shit out.
That's
of
how the
preamp.
6505 was. Like you had to at least kick it on 2 or 3 before those speakers started opening.
Yeah.
Fun fact about the Sobtech MiG 100s is these guys were made out of recycled steel and parts from the Soviet Russian MiG fighter jets.
Oh wow!
Yeah. That's why it's called the MiG.
Right, nice. Oh, I have to look into that because that's awesome.
I think we've pretty much covered it. We've had a look at the pedals. As I say, there's not 100 different pedals to look at. There's basically you've got what you know does the job.
Yeah.
So,
And it does it well. Like it works perfectly for what we need. As far as other gear stuff, like live, sometimes like we're talking about big amps and big cabs and shit, we normally run 2 full stacks of 412 Emperor cabs loaded with V30s. So we go Emperored out and then the Sobtechs, and it's pretty sick.
Nice,
Sounds great.
So
Crushes
when you're in the studio, then are you using the similar setup, or is your engineer taking over then? So, you know, because obviously
Same
a lot of
exact
bands.
setup, yeah.
Oh, cool. Because a lot of bands you find they go in the studio, the engineer takes over, and potentially they'll use modeling and stuff like that. They'll,
Do some amp profiling and whatnot.
exactly. They'll do amp replacement, all that kind of stuff, and then when they go live, they can't recreate the sound. You know, whereas
There's none of that. Like we recorded live amps on all that. So what you hear on the record is my Sobtech and my Mesa.
nice,
And my
very
V.
good.
yeah.
Excellent stuff. Cool. Right. So we've done gear. We've done a little bit about yourself and the band, etc. This is Twitch after all. We're going to move on to a little bit of gaming chat as well, because I already know that well, it's not a secret, but nobody else has heard it yet. We're going to come on to the segue into gaming via, you did let on when I asked about obviously the band name, and then you may have led on that yes, in fact, for those Soulsborne nerds in chat, Stormruler is in fact based on
Dark Souls 1 and 3.
Yep.
I think you might be able to get it in 2, but I'm pretty sure 1 and 3.
Yeah, there we go. So called it. Woohoo! But yeah, I mean, as I said, we're going to move on to a little chat about gaming. I mean, first, for you guys in the band, obviously you and is it Jamie, the drummer?
Jesse,
thank you. Apologies. Didn't do research. Never doing an interview again. Anyway,
fuck.
Yeah.
Not like he said it several times so far.
I know. Yeah. Oi, Dave, whose side are you on? Anyway,
if you want to segue into some nerdy,
I'm on the side of creating content.
Exactly. No, if you want to segue into some gaming nerdy stuff, that song was actually a Bloodborne song.
Oh, right. Okay. So, because that's what I was going to ask. Because obviously, having the band name, etc., you were saying before that you guys are massively into sort of Dark Souls and the whole genre of games. So, a little bit more about that. What's kind of your sort of gaming heritage lineage? Where did you start? What's your favorite thing? And obviously, in between recording, playing gigs, etc., what's the number one? I mean, did you have a Tony Hawk's era, or has it just been?
Yeah, no, I had a Tony Hawk era. I did. When I very first started gaming, from what I can remember, was 64 on Mario and all that shit, and then GoldenEye, of course. But I really started gaming on PlayStation 2. That was where I really started cutting my teeth and becoming a nerd. But currently. All the Dark Souls FromSoft series, anything from FromSoft, really. Right now, of course, Elden Ring still. I'm still playing that.
Chivalry. That's amazing, but not when it first came out. So it's,
Chivalry is one I haven't delved into yet. I know a few buddies of mine that actually play it, but I haven't messed with it.
Well, they've just added the sequel to Game Pass. So if you've got that, you can try it out. But yeah, Chivalry 2 is a lot of fun. They've taken some of the best elements, and you can still literally charge up the attack, sprint forward, and hit somebody with a two-handed sword and take their head off. But,
see, I'm all for that. Any knighthood, swords, maces, and halberds, I'm down with.
And as you said, linking that in obviously to the music, like you said, so that the song we just listened to was directly inspired
by Bloodborne.
Bloodborne,
Mikolash's storyline, actually.
Yeah. That's so cool. I mean, I'm not going to go yes, because I've never actually played Bloodborne. I think I got as far. Ooh. Oh, we've got Sam Z in the chat. I think the last one I finished the main run through of Dark Souls 3, and I've kind of fallen off a bit since then, because actually I only did that just before Elden Ring came out, because I realized, oh shit, I never finished Dark Souls 3.
You should probably brush up. Yeah.
A lot.
Do you own a PlayStation 4?
Not yet. I might have to get one just.
My man, you should just go rent one for a day or 3 and get Bloodborne and fucking binge that game, dude.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of good things. But
one of the best.
So obviously, from a gaming perspective, we were talking about it before. Was Unity? Talk a little bit about Unity and what we are as a community, and having you as a guest, and why it's so awesome to bring artists in to learn a bit more about what we do here as well. Unity predominantly, obviously, is bringing together a huge community of streamers, boosting people that are starting out, bringing new talent forward between music. But predominantly, we are based around, and we're started around Rocksmith. It's obviously
right, yeah.
Less of a game, we always I always think of it more of a tool to be able to get people playing guitar very quickly and enjoying jamming out, etc.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your view on that kind of stuff? Have you ever tried it? That's the important question. Have you ever played Rocksmith?
I have played it a couple times, but the times that I played it, and I don't know, I've only played it like twice or maybe 3 times over at a buddy of mine's house a long time ago. But I don't know if you can change the difficulty setting immediately. But I went in and it was set on like easy, and it was a song I knew, and I was trying to play it how I knew how to play it, and I was like fucking up everything. Like it wouldn't work.
Yeah, so you can. Yeah,
go ahead.
You can set it to max difficulty, which will show you all of the notes.
Right.
Which, if you're used to the song, will actually be sort of better for you. However, if the chart itself is different to how you learnt the song anyway,
A little different,
you'll-
yeah.
as soon as you get to any of those parts where it
Right.
shows you a different thing to what you're doing,
Fuck, I need to go down here. Yeah.
your brain doesn't go instantly, oh, I just know how to do this, I'll do it the way I know anyway. It goes, oh shit, it's showing me something. That's not what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
And you,
I need
you
to go
sort of end
somewhere
up
else.
doing that halfway in between thing. That like,
Right. No, it's definitely a cool game, and especially for any like new people who want to try to pick up a guitar and learn how to play it. It'll help you with
Yeah.
rhythm as well as
Yeah.
finger placement,
And,
learning the fretboard.
And what's good as well is because, I mean, obviously there's the new version out, Rocksmith Plus, which is a more of a subscription service where they're adding music. There's a lot more control over the content in there. But the one we've been obviously used to for the last, 2014, so 8 years, got completely bust wide open by the modding community. So it now has customs in there. So, every genre is represented. And I think we're on about 60,000 songs plus that the community of charters have created, of which there is a lot of sort of classic and modern black metal. I mean, we interviewed Jonas from Brymere, and it turned out there was a full album of theirs that somebody had charted in Rocksmith. So when we raided, I think the person that we raided into, who's part of the Rocksmith community, straight away like, well, let's play some Brymere, and
Nice.
that was awesome. Do you know what I mean? So it's bringing. I mean, we have a lot of thing around the DMCA and copyright and stuff like that. It's in a bit of a grey area, but I don't know what you think. Obviously, being an owner of intellectual property material, with the label, etc. But we've got, I mean, approximately what, Dave? 400 or so music streamers within the community who are every single day streaming live to people, taking requests, playing new music, and helping people discover new music. I've found so many bands through Twitch and through people playing Rocksmith and doing music streams. So, I mean, I know it's a bit of a hot take, but what's sort of your view on that? I mean, do you give a shit if somebody's streaming your music and playing to it and going, guys, check this out?
No, man, I think it's cool. Like, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, we had a message on Instagram from a guy who was asking how to play a certain riff. He's like, I think I have it, but I don't know exactly the tuning you guys are playing. Are you playing in half step, or are you on 7 strings with like your, 7 string tuned up to E standard? I was like, no, I told him how to play it, but it was cool that anyone's even trying to learn how to play our shit in the first place. So if it were on Rocksmith, that'd be rad.
Yeah.
I love people playing our shit, man.
Yeah,
They're interested.
That's a common view amongst musicians.
Yeah, I don't give a
but
fuck,
quite
man.
often the owners of the rights of the songs aren't necessarily the musicians.
I was going to say,
They're not.
do we need to be careful given the logo in the other corner, just in case? No, but yeah, no. I mean, I think for me, it's coming round. I think what it is, and without going too deep into it, I think copyright rules are old-fashioned. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They account for CDs, vinyl, cassette tapes, radio play.
They're outdated, and they're
It's more so like an insurance for the people who own the copyrights that they can eventually make their money off of it, their money back off of it.
Whereas the way people consume music has completely changed now. The way people discover music has completely changed. People, like I said, live streaming in the music category on Twitch, that's how a lot of people discover it. During lockdown, I was lazy. I listened to the same old shit all the time, in my collection.
Of course. You probably still have a CD collection, right?
Hey, careful.
So do I. Mine's sitting over there. It's okay.
No.
I'm actually going to draw attention to my T-shirt quickly because this wasn't intentional.
I was reading that. Home taping is killing music.
Yeah. Now this was a scheme that was basically my boss bought me this T-shirt for my birthday because this scheme was introduced around the week of my birth, and he thought it would be sort of kind of like funny, ironic, or whatever because of what I do streaming online and whatnot.
Right.
But it's exactly the same sort of thing. You'll hear the exact same message from certain areas of whatever. It's back 40 years ago they were saying home taping is killing music, but it wasn't. Home taping was what was keeping music alive. It's
Well, I mean,
it's a really big gray area on that one.
Yeah, I mean, for me, That was back in the day of like listening to stuff on the radio with a tape and then go, when the DJ on the radio station started speaking, it's like, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to record this song. Stuff like that. But, I think in my personal experience, way back when I was a kid, I'm saying way back, but a friend of mine gave me Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning on one tape, side A, side B, gave me that. And him giving me that, technically, again, breaking rules, breaking laws, but I became a lifelong Metallica fan, by which I've bought all the albums in several formats. I've seen them live about a dozen times. You know what I mean? So it's that gateway and entry into it. And I think nowadays it's still grey, but there's more of acceptance of how people discover and
yeah, I mean, it's certainly a double-edged. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah. And in answer to your question, no, I do not actually own any CDs anymore, but I do still own the vinyl.
That's fair.
I've still got a massive cupboard full of CDs.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, Jesse, my drummer, his CD collection is massive. He's got a huge collection.
Yeah.
We're still fans of the physical.
And also the other question is just related to the gaming side. Guitar Hero, Rock Band, did you go there?
Yeah, for sure. Guitar Hero, I played a good deal of Guitar Hero 1, but Guitar Hero 2 was like the Guitar Hero that everybody started picking up and playing,
Yeah.
I played the shit out of that. Guitar Hero 3, I played a lot of the Metallica Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah.
After that I kind of fell off, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, I will agree with you sort of wholeheartedly there. Like, I had Guitar Hero, like the first Guitar Hero I got on the PS2, and it was fun and whatnot. There was still some sort of like things that just didn't quite feel 100% like felt right. Guitar Hero 2 came out. I got it on the Xbox 360, and it just felt great.
There's so many jams on that one too.
Yeah. The only thing I disliked on Guitar Hero 2 was Psychobilly Freakout, and
Reverend Horton Heat.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that one song I detested. Initially, I just found it sort of very difficult and couldn't get past it. But that became the one song that was blocking me from getting to the last stage with the
getting
songs
that
I
diamond
really
achievement.
Wanted to play. Hanger 18 and Beast and the Harlot. Psychobilly Freakout was stopping me getting there.
I think I was the same on one of them with is it Assassin by Muse? For some reason, I could just never play that song, mainly because I didn't want to, but it was also insanely difficult.
And for most people, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but the roadblock was either Jordan or Through in the Fire and the Flames. Jordan being the big, that was like the first big one to hit.
Yeah, it would have been
Through the Fire
3,
and the
Flames because on 3 because Jordan was on 2, but it was a bonus track. It wasn't stopping you getting anywhere. Through the Fire and the Flames was a I think it was the last song in the sort of career progression. I think.
Yeah.
I know Gaming Metal was saying Fire and Flames was also a bonus song, but Jordan was definitely a bonus song. I thought Through the Fire and Flames was the.
I thought that was part of it, like in the base game.
Shadow saying it was an encore song. So,
okay, yeah.
So you know what? I'm counting encores. Fuck.
Well, you want to talk about encore songs? One of my favorite, one of the bands that I got into because of those games, because of the bonus song, was Dream Theater. Pull Me Under. Was the post credit song with like the flying chariot in the sky and stuff like that, and it wasn't part of the main set. And that actually got me into Dream Theater, because I was like, oh, fuck, this song is awesome. I can't play it for shit, but this is awesome. So and ever since, I've been a huge Dream Theater fan.
Were there ever any black metal tracks on Guitar Hero?
There must have been, but I can't remember.
Could you imagine that, though? Just that sound?
Yeah.
The whole fucking time.
I'll tell you what though,
because they had a character, because they had Lars Umlaut, which was the black metal
who looked like fucking a bot / everybody in Demu. Yeah,
basically.
But yeah, I mean that ticking. When you watch sort of streams of people playing Guitar Hero, to me that's like it sounds like part of the song. Like it's like when you go to when you go to a live gig and they've just managed to sort of whack up the volume on the bass drum or whatever, and all you get
of course.
And but like it sounds like it's part of the song when you're watching somebody playing Guitar Hero. Like
so I'm only used to one click going on during guitar playing, and that's the click track. Just
Yeah.
you know.
I remember going to see Testament. It wasn't Testament, but the support band.
Well, what year?
Do you
know who it was?
It was in Camden Coco. It'd be about 2005. They actually released the gig that I went to on the sort of like the live DVD live in London. I think it was about 2005. But the support act, like I don't know if I was just stood in the exact wrong position, but all I could hear was the bass drum. Like
just triggered out the ass.
The whole time they were playing, I could just hear like all the way through everything. Like,
man, triggers can either be a lifesaver or a set killer, man.
Also,
if it just sounds like you're hitting cardboard.
Yeah, I think in answer to the question, I think mainly they had Cradle, Demu, and I think some Emperor made its way in there in terms of that.
Was that like genre. user added, or was that like official tracks they put
No, I think they added. Well, was technically a cover, isn't it? Because Curse All You Men was originally Judas? No, not Judas Priest did it. Who did the original of
Curse You All Men?
Yeah.
Off Equilibrium? That was Emperor.
Was it? What song am I thinking of then? I can't remember. Anyway, I believe it was.
They covered A Fine Day to Die by Bathory on I think it was the last track on In the Night Side Eclipse.
This would be when we need Toy Machine in chat.
Exactly. We're being outed now as not being quite nerdy enough. We need the uber nerd, Mr. Toy Machine, in the chat. But yeah, I mean, you know, back to the original thing, I think for me the music rhythm games, but even going back to that era, classic era of you obviously had Guitar Hero, but you also had Tony Hawk's. You had all the driving games like Burnout, things like that, really bringing like so much music to the fore. And I think it's been said recently that era, and particularly Tony Hawk's, changed the music scene. Do you know what I mean? Completely changed, because it brought in so many new people into all those different kind of bands and music and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely made punk bigger again.
There's just certain songs. Every time you hear them, you just think of a certain game. There's certain songs. Every time I hear them, I think of Tony Hawk's. Other songs, every time I hear them, I think of Burnout Paradise.
Yeah. For me,
I mean, shit. That's how a lot of people discovered like suicidal tendencies and like 3 inches of blood and shit.
Yeah. I mean, for me, every time I hear the opening of Bring the Noise, I'm back there on the school level, swearing and breaking my control pad, you know. But yeah.
Oh, see, I'm on the New York level, riding down the fucking.
But there you go. Directly comparing obviously memories.
It'll throw you back to something,
to music. Exactly, yeah. I mean, for me, the biggest thing about Guitar Hero was at the time, particularly as well because I'd spent quite a long time as a DJ. When I heard new songs, I was like, I'll listen to the intro, listen to the first bridge, second bridge, what the outro sounds like, and that was how I consumed music. Because obviously everything that new came out, I was like, I need to listen to them quickly, and I stopped enjoying music. But then Guitar Hero and stuff came out, and you actually got involved and actually listened to the music in detail.
You had to pay attention, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that was awesome for me. But yeah, anyway, right, we've gone uber nerd now. We need to bring it back. Okay, one person that hasn't been on this stream yet that I know more than a few people will be interested to see. He's got 4 legs. He hasn't appeared on stream yet. Twitch
lady.
loves cats. Twitch loves cats.
Come here, lady. Come here. Come up here. Turn around.
Oh, complaining. Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, there she is.
This is Lady Elizabeth Bathory the 11th of House Asberry.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's so fantastic.
Sorry, lady.
Oh, there we go. No, it's official. It's official. You've woken up.
It has been had now.
The chat has officially woken up.
Yes. For anyone who wants to buy her a gift, her birthday is in July. So just send it now and I'll give it to her later.
Yeah, here's my Venmo details. From my point of view, I'm going to say first, this has been really good. Really enjoyed this chat with you. As I said, we like to keep it chill, unprepared. That's obvious. We have no script.
It's more natural that way. It's more fun.
That's what Bangers and Beers is all about. We just come on, we chat shit, we drink a few beers, and we have a laugh. And so far, touch wood, we've had a few guests on so far, including yourself. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. So, thank you very much for your time today, Dave. Do you want to say some words?
Nope.
Fair.
Cool. Fuck's sake, Dave.
No. Thank you for joining us. Seriously,
of course.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been a good chat. It's been fun.
And I think I speak for both of us and the chat. I think that the songs we've listened to today, it's been a new experience for me. Other than obviously doing a bit of research before coming on. Yeah, I did a little bit. Obviously, not a lot, but really enjoyed the experience of watching those, and particularly having you here to chat about it. That brings a bit of realness to it. So it's the first time honest reaction from myself. I don't know about Dave, whether you listened to them in advance, but just awesome to be able to share that with you and talk to you about the song as we're listening to it. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. So that's what we really enjoy about this. So.
It may be sort of like you think, just saying I like the songs because you're here, but no, genuinely fucking loved those songs.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what?
I appreciate it.
We're British. If we didn't like it, you just...
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought you guys were from Wisconsin. Shit.
No. Fuck no. Anyway, but like I said, our way is, if we didn't like it, you just hear silence. And we'd come back and say, Jason, talk to us about something else. Anyway, joking. But yeah, so generally. But yeah, Jason... Yeah, exactly.
Outro words. Thank you guys for... No, thank you, dudes. It's been it's fun chatting with you dudes. And anybody who's listening, thank you as well. If you want to buy the record, which is going to be out next Friday, new single out on Monday, you can go to stormruler.net/merch.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. We got Fogwall Gray, which is like a gray marble variant. We have Lucarian Blue for all you Elden Ring nerds. And then Classic Black for all the traditionalists. You can also buy Digipack, and then we're going to have some Sacred Rites not back patches, but just some embroidered patches coming out. For anybody in the EU, we're going to be over there in March and April of next year with Cannibal Corpse and Dark Funeral. Tickets are available, so you can buy those. Anybody, if you're listening to Puerto Rico, we'll be down there in December 9th. Pick up those tickets. And thank you everybody for checking it out.
Well, again, last time...
Thank you, dudes.
Thank you very much for joining us, spending some time with us, having a few beers, chatting music, gear, gaming, everything like that. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. This has been Bangers and Beers with Migsy and Dave, or Dave and Migsy. Sorry, Dave. Got to get the right way around. And our very special guest, singer and guitarist from Stormruler, Jason Asberry. Thank you again so much. We are going to go. We're going to fade out, leave you with the... beautiful sounds of Reign of the Winged Duke. Again, thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you next time.